Hey, I'm Richard Kavanagh, and I'm here to share with you one of the recipes from my book, Love Your Hair. This is a recipe that all the girls seem to love, and it's a little fishtail side braid. So there's three key steps to this look, and the first step is to prepare your hair with a base of styling product. That's going to make it stay in place when you push it back off your face. It's going to make the braid easier to do, and it's going to give you a really fabulous texture that you want to work with. So we're going to put a lot of product in the hair, right? What you're going to do is you're going to start with a thickening lotion. I'm going to use Redken Rootful, and you're going to spray this all the way through the hair, roots to ends, until the hair is damp. Work it through, lifting the hair up so that you're spraying it into the roots and getting it all the way through the mid-lengths and ends. And you want the hair to feel lightly damp with product when you're done. Then we're going to take a Stronghold mousse. I'm going to use Redken Guts. I like it because it's in a spray can, it's easy to apply, and it's really easy to get onto the root area. So you can just lift the hair up a little bit with your fingers and spray it on all around the hairline, onto the roots, all through the mid-lengths of the hair, around the top, and all the way through the mid-lengths and ends at the back of your hair. This is probably going to feel really gross and sticky when you've done it, and that's a good thing. If your hair is very fine, or if in certain cases you've got like a really smooth cuticle, like Asian hair for example, you might also want to add a product for extra grip and texture. In this case I'm going to use Wool Shake. Give it a shake, hence the name, Wool Shake. And just mist that on through the mid-lengths and ends and all over the hair. At this point the hair is nice and damp with product. Then you're going to take your blow dryer and you're going to put it on full speed and full heat as fast and as hard as you can, and you're going to blast dry your hair until it's 100% completely dry and crispy. Should take between 5 and up to maybe 10 minutes if your hair is really, really thick. Okay? So after you've blasted your hair completely dry, it should be looking pretty much, a little bit like a bad 80s scrunch dry actually. And it will feel crisp and crunchy to the touch. Now here's a hot tip. When you brush this out, if it's not easy to brush out, i.e. if it feels tacky and tuggy and the brush is dragging through the hair, that tells you that the hair's not completely dry. And you want to just put your hairdryer on hot and full speed again for a few more minutes until it's 100% crispy dry. Once you've got to this point, you'll find that it actually brushes through fairly easily. It doesn't necessarily sound that nice when you're brushing it with the brush, but it just brushes out and gives you a really fluffy, dusty flyaway texture. So we'll give that a little brush out and then we'll jump into the braid. Now here's a little hot tip. If your hair is fine, or if the cuticle layer is really smooth and you want it to look a bit dustier and more romantic, you can add some hair powder into the hair before you do the braid. What that'll also do is it'll make the hair feel really grippy, and it'll make it much easier to fold the hair into itself when you're doing your little fishtail braid. So just sprinkle a little hair powder all the way through the hair there, mid-lengths to ends, and give it a bit of a shake through. Now what you're going to do is, using your fingers, you're going to gather the hair all the way around to one side like so. Then you're going to split the hair in half into 2 strands. Now you're going to start in the underneath strand, and from underneath that you're going to pull out a fine piece of hair like that. You're going to bring that over and join it into the other strand. Very simple so far, right? Then you're going to take a piece from the other strand and you're going to pull that around and join it into the first strand. Right? So then you take another piece from the first strand, fold that over and into the second strand, and just pull that up firm as you work. Then go back to the other side, grab another piece from the underneath, fold it across and join it in. And work your way down the strands from side to side, just adding a new piece in each time, nice and loose. All the way down until you reach the bottom. So you're almost finished, but there's a couple more steps to go. When you get down to the end of the braid, you might find it easier to turn it into a 3-strand braid, and it might just naturally happen for you anyway as you get down there. Now I'm going to share with you one of my secrets from on set that I don't share with anybody. Rather than use a hair tie, you can simply take your tail comb and just back comb down at the end of your braid, just like that, and lock the end in so that you don't have a big elastic hanging around down the bottom there. Another thing you can do is take a piece of cotton, or I kind of like a thick organic embroidery thread, and you can tie that around and just tie it off to give it to brace it off. Now, you're almost done. The last thing to do is just personalize it and make it a little bit cool. So what you're going to do is use your fingers and just start to pull apart at the braid and pull a few loose bits out so that it feels really lived in. So there you have it, a little fishtail or herringbone braid. So just to recap on the key points for that, you're going to put some thickening lotion in your hair, then a stronghold styling mousse and a heat active texturizer, and blast it dry until it's crispy like an 80s scrunch dry. Brush it through with your Mason Pearson, pull it round to one side, split the hair into two, and then take a small strand from underneath each side and cross it over and join it into the opposite strand, working all the way down, picking up a small piece from each side and crossing it over to the other side down to the bottom, a little back comb to lock it in or a piece of thread, and then you just personalize it like so, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt.